I'm in the US at the moment and I saw this place and it reminded me of one of the biggest mistakes I ever made when planning for retirement. It actually cost me a whole extra year in preparing for retirement. I want to talk about this and some other things that might actually get you to your retirement much sooner, but I'm not going to do it here in this noisy shopping centre. I'm going to go somewhere a bit quieter. Come with me. So do you have a habit that may well be costing you your freedom? And this isn't just about coffee. I've got some really interesting and fun insights that I hope will help you think about this a little bit more. Today's word is intentionality. Today's word is not going without, because going without is two words. And this is just another one of those videos that came to me as I was walking around and watching the world around me. And before I go any further, there's a word that I need to raise, a word that some people find quite triggering, and I need to explain it in a little bit more detail before we go any further in this video. And that word is budget. As I say, it can be triggering. I've had comments about this word. I've heard people say things like, well, if I need to budget when I'm in retirement, well, I'll just carry on working than having to live a budget lifestyle. And I want to draw a parallel here. And the word I'd use to compare it to would be the word diet. Now, the words budget and diet have two meanings, two connotations each. So, for example, you can either maintain a strong budget, or if you don't maintain a strong budget, then you're probably going to have to live a bit of a budget lifestyle, or you can maintain a good diet, or if you don't, you probably need to go on a diet. So this video isn't about deprivation, it's about alignment with your goals. So this really is a fun video helping you think about the world around you. And don't get me wrong, I'm no expert in any of this. I've made more than my fair share of mistakes, and I'm going to share those in this video. But what I can say to you is absolutely small changes, small lifestyle changes can compound. And when you compound those lifestyle changes can really propel you to a much wealthier future. And I kicked off this video talking about Starbucks, which is just down the road here in Las Vegas. But before I go any further, I have to do a very, very quick ready reckoner on the phrase, the 4% rule. I know I've probably said this umpteen times before, but I'm going to be using this in a slightly different way to anything that I've done in the past. So really, really quickly, the 4% rule, designed by Bill Bengen, or discovered, I guess, by Bill Bengen, I think in the late 70s. This is a principle of drawdown in retirement. The way it works is simply, if you've got a set amount of money, then 4% of that is how much you can draw down. And then in future years, you would just change that in line with inflation. So if, for example, you've got £100,000, dollars, whatever it is, then 4% of that is 4,000. If you've got 500,000, then that would be 20,000 a year. If you've got $1 million, then that would be 40,000 a year. That's simply how the 4% rule works. But I just want to flip over how we look at this and how it could be really useful for you in your day-to-day life now. 4% is a percent. If you convert that into a decimal calculation, you can flip it around and you can say multiply by 25. So let's go back to when I said 4,000. 4,000 multiplied by 25 is 100,000. It's just simple maths. Same way that 100,000 multiplied by 4% is 4,000. So if you decide, rather than looking at how much money you're going to amass to get to your retirement, you actually say, well, no, I've worked out my budget, what I need in retirement. I need £25,000 or dollars or whatever a year. 25,000 multiplied by 25 is 625,000. So that is to say, if you want to spend 25,000 a year, you need to amass 625,000. And then if you say, oh, I need 10,000 a year, 10,000 multiplied by 25 says you need to save 250,000. and then just to flip it back, 250,000 multiplied by 4% is 10,000. Get a calculator out. Try out these numbers for yourself. It's a lot of fun, actually. I find it a lot of fun. You might not, but I think it's a lot of fun. So let's get back to that Starbucks example and show you how this can be fun, working out the kind of mistakes that I made and maybe mistakes that you make as well. I worked on a campus for a large corporate, and very strategically placed between my desk and anywhere on campus I wanted to go was a Starbucks. I don't know if they did that specifically for me, but that meant I'm walking past it 10, 20 times a day and smelling the coffee and seeing the Danishes, and it was tough. So I used to buy a coffee every day when I was at work. And I'm being very conservative when I say that, because I was talking to an old colleague last week and telling her I was making this video. And I said to her, I used to buy coffee every day of the week. And she said, you used to buy a coffee every day of the week? Don't you mean 2 or 3? So let's just be conservative. Let's just say I had a habit of having 1 coffee a day while at work. And important for this whole video, let's say that you want to maintain that kind of habit in retirement. You've retired, you've got a local coffee shop, you want to head down there and read the news or whatever while having your lovely latte. But let's do some maths. Let's say that I spent £4 a day on my Starbucks coffee, and I would do that 5 days a week, and let's say I was in the office for 48 weeks a year. So £4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 48 is £980. So using that 4% calculation and flipping it into the decimal, £980 multiplied by 25 would say I need £24,500 saved in my retirement fund to maintain that habit during retirement. To me, that's a bit of an eye-opener, but let's go further. Let's have a bit of fun with this, shall we? What about streaming services? Let's say that you have a streaming service that you're paying £10 a month for. Well, over a year, that would be £120. So multiplying that by 25, that gives you £3,000 that you would need to save into your retirement pot to maintain that habit in retirement. Then let's talk about if you get takeout lunch. If you're still working now, you get takeout lunch and you're spending £8 a day on that. Let's say you're doing that 3 times a week because you're working from home. It's post-COVID now, so you probably work from home a couple of days a week. You're doing that 3 days a week, and then you're doing that for 48 weeks a year. That's £28,800 you would need to save into your retirement fund if you wanted to get takeout lunch 3 days a week when you retire. Then let's take that gym membership that you've got that you never use. Do you do that? Something I once did. I once took out a gym membership in this gym, and this gym was amazing, right? And it had a video library. This is back when there were videos. It had a video library and it had a bar. And what I used to do is I'd drive there after work with my kit in the back of the car full of planning to have a great workout. I'll pull into the car park, leave my kit there, go into the bar, have a drink, and then go to the video library, take a video out, and then go home and watch it whilst probably eating a bowl of nuts or something like that. Bit crazy. But let's say you've got a gym membership that you're not using, and that's £40 a month. Well, that would mean you would need to save £12,000 into your retirement fund. Now, if we add all those together, because that there seems like a fairly normal lifestyle for anybody to have coffees, a streaming service, take-out lunches, and a gym membership. Well, the coffee, 24,500, streaming service, 3,000, take-out lunch, 28,800, gym membership, 12,000. That is a whopping £68,300 you would need to save or convert that into your currency of choice. What is it I'm actually saying when I say that is £68,300? What I'm saying is that's how much you need to save in that pot of cash for your retirement or for when you get to financial independence and you stop working. So think about how much you're saving into your retirement fund today. If you're saving £10,000 a year, that's good. If you're saving £20,000 a year, that's amazing. Let's say you are. Let's say you're doing £20,000 a year, which is impressive. Well, 68,300 for those four kind of throwaway ideas, that would mean that if you started today to invest for those four things, it's going to take you 3.5 years of work just to maintain those habits in retirement. Whew, that's kind of, isn't that eye-opening? Is that just me that finds that kind of thing eye-opening? And this is all about intentionality. So many of us sleepwalk, and we do this because the numbers seem so small. 10 quid on a Netflix subscription, 4 quid on a coffee, but all of these things really add up and snowball. And then, oh, hang on, something's just occurred to me. I started this video talking about budget and diet, that those two words got two meanings to them. Well, they're a bit symbiotic as well, aren't they? Because if you maintain a good budget, then you will probably say, I'm not going to be going out and spending money willy-nilly on coffee. Or if you're maintaining a good budget, you're not going to have a gym membership that you never use. You might say, I'm going to do workouts at home. And you're not going to be buying sandwiches from Waitrose for your lunch. You'll make sandwiches at home if you're maintaining a strong budget. And then in the same way, if you're doing that and you're making healthy lunches for yourself, you're not buying those frothy coffees, and you're not sitting on the sofa watching streaming videos all the time, then chances are you're going to have a better diet and better health. So a good budget can also mean better diet and better health. Have I stumbled upon something there? Has anyone said that before? And am I saying don't do any of the above? No, totally not. What I'm saying is be intentional, because these small habits can affect your long-term wealth. So if you enjoy a frothy latte and it means a lot to you, do it. Do what you want to do. What I'm saying is be intentional. It's not about going without. In that word, the word today is intentional. And I'm 4 years retired, and I've not got it all made up now myself. I'll be honest. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've got a bit of a habit of spending too much money on beer. I absolutely adore a good craft IPA. But that comes at a cost. They're expensive and they come at a cost. And as we are coming to the end of the year, if you're watching this in the future, this is December 2024. As we come into the end of the year, I'd like to thank all of the wonderful commenters out there on my videos that have told me that I'm fat. And because I'm fat, I'm going to die early. And people who say that I look more than 10 years older than I really am. Now, part of the reason for that is I need a haircut. When I get my haircut, I do often look a lot slimmer and younger, gotta say. But I don't think my problem is my haircut. I'll be totally honest with you. So, intentionality. What am I going to do in 2025? And if you really want to see all of this come to fruition, I highly advise you go to our other channel, which is To Go Roam Travels. That's where me and my wife, Sarah, we are traveling the world full time. That's what we do. And on there, you see more of our lifestyle, not more of how we talk about finance and planning for our retirement. So I'd love you to go over there and see how I do next year, because if I do achieve these goals, I can tell you what they are in a minute. If I do achieve these goals, you'll see it in front of you as I'm walking around and doing stuff and passing up opportunities for craft beers and stuff like that. Or if I totally fall off the wagon, you can see it and then you can call me out. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to fall off the wagon. I'm going to do it. And here are the things in 2025 that I am going to do. I'm going to be cutting my spending on beer significantly. I'm going to be slashing that. I'm going to be exercising without a gym membership, because you can't really maintain a gym membership when you're traveling the world. I'm going to be exercising in our Airbnb or wherever we are any day. So that's going to maintain my health. And I'm going to be eating properly. I'm not going to be eating burgers and all that kind of stuff. So you can see all this next year. And probably on our travel channel, we'll give you insights. We're in a place in February next year where we're already talking about maybe putting recipes on our travel channel on how we're eating a lot healthier. So head over there to see that. But that's what I'm going to be doing next year to protect my health and my budget. What is it that you're going to do? Why don't you let me know in the comments below? I'd love to get ideas and share ideas. And if you're watching this video and you're not someone to comment, have a look down in the comments. See what kind of interesting ideas people are sharing on what they're going to do in 2025 that will cut their spending, which is primarily what this video is about, but also make them feel healthier as well. There may be some wonderful spending ideas out there that you could learn from. And now that you're budgeting better, I highly recommend you watch this video next, because in this video, I show you how the compounding effects of all of this can propel you to a much brighter and better future. And that's what I want for you. Really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.